Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, as we go to what I call the Chokeslam Wrestling Report Extra to the YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about how AEW has decided to do a partnership with the Owen Hart family. And a lot of people, especially fans, were already online Monday, of course, giving their negativity feedback on why the hell is AEW doing anything that has to do with Owen Hart. Of course, if you guys have been following up this for the last 20 years, you know that Marth Owens pretty much don't want to do anything with WWE, and this is why you will never see Owen Hart in the WWE Hall of Fame. This is why they don't mention Owen Hart in any of their programming. So it's been a bad taste with them ever since 1999 when Owen Hart got killed doing a stunt from atop of the arena that was 80 feet above the ring. They wanted him to come down as the way Sting used to do in WCW, and the harness broke. Owen Hart falling from almost 80 feet to 60 feet from the arena to the ring, hitting his face, supposedly, according to a lot of people who saw it, hitting his head on the turnbuckle, probably snapping his neck or whatever the case, dying instantly and whatnot. But WWE decided to continue to do the pay-per-view, and this is why right now, to this day, Marth Hart don't want Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame in WWE. They don't want to do anything that has to do with WWE because they felt that WWE was being negligent. Why would you get a guy? To this day, I still don't understand that. This was just a guy who had Intercontinental. He won the Intercontinental belt. He won the tag team belt. Now you had him dressed as the Blue Blazer. When we all know that when he was in the Blue Blazer in Japan, he was big, but WWE used him as a superhero type gimmick, and this would pretty much cost him his life. Now, a lot of people are saying, why in the world is AEW getting involved with pretty much the with the Owen Hart family? Because you guys know, when they did Dark Side of the Ring, the guy who was narrating that, I think he was narrating the documentary that day was Chris Jericho. And Jericho, of course, said something about that through Fightful Select. On September 20th, AEW announced a partnership with the Owen Hart Foundation to honor the legacy of Owen. AEW will honor Owen by immortalizing him in the upcoming AEW console game and holding an annual Owen Hart Cup tournament. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what I'm reading here. Why not honor the guy, as a professional wrestler, not a sports entertainment guys? And I know a lot of them, I'm gonna hit a lot of people's heartstring with that one, because people will come and say something about, but Owen Hart was WWE, but so was in New Japan, former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, before he came to WWE in the 80s or late 80s. Okay, WWE is known to just change everybody's gimmick once they come somewhere else, because it is well documented that if they didn't created that person, they want to recreate them on their own names. I mean, you look at the names that they're using today, it's just ridiculous. The Braun Stockman Hacker or whatever, Rick Steiner's son, they name him some weird name. So this is what WWE does. And when they finally pushed Owen Hart back in '94, when he had his feud with his brother Bret Hart, he was one guy that you could say, hey, you could see he was that good in that ring. He was that good. But WWE, somewhere down the line, probably got tired of him or whatever the storyline is, and he pretty much wanted to retire from wrestling already. He knew that he wasn't going to get pushed, but he was a company guy. He was going to do what they asked him to do, and that gimmick, the Blue Blazer, cost him his life. So now AEW is taking a chance, along with Chris Jericho, to immortalize this man. A man who, he was a great wrestler, So they're gonna do an Owen Hart Cup tournament in the future. So, speaking to Stephanie, Chase, Chris Jericho, detail his involvement in bringing Owen's widow Martha and AEW President Tony Khan together. This is what Jericho said. According to this, it was a passion project for me and obviously for Martha and Tony. We worked on it for a long time, about a year and a half. So they've been working on this for a year and a half. Okay, before a year and a half, to put the deal together and figure out what we wanted to do. I just knew I wanted Owen's legacy to be something positive and something great as far as wrestling goes, rather than just be dwelling on his death. That's the main reason why we all wanted this to happen, so we can celebrate Owen Hart's career and the contribution that he made. He was a pioneer, said Jericho. And of course he was a pioneer. This guy was one of the, probably a pioneer when it came to high-flying wrestling. I mean, already you had Dynamite Kid already in Japan doing his thing. You had Tiger Mask out there. Owen Hart was that good. He wrestled like a high flyer. He could give you technical skill. He had classic matches with Bret Hart. If you guys don't remember, I believe it was WrestleMania 10 when Owen Hart defeated Bret Hart, in which it was an upset and whatnot. But then he had his feud with his brother for the title. Those were classic, man. Part of the Hart Foundation, him and British Bulldog, I believe they were tag team champions at one point. I mean, Owen Hart held all the titles except the world title in WWE. And so Jericho continued by saying, what is his connection to AEW? You know, because everybody was already talking about, oh, well, why is AEW dealing with Owen Hart? He's not he wasn't AEW. He said one of the connections is that he's specifically the reason that he got into wrestling. Owen Hart was the guy, to an extent. Shawn Michaels, Ricky Steamboat, but Owen Hart, to me, I thought I wanted to be like that guy. There's your connection to AEW. The original AEW face of the company is an Owen Hart fanatic and disciple. That's the reason we wanted to do this. We'll do the Owen Hart Cup and tournament and make people feel good about Owen rather than sad. We know what happened, but that was 20 years ago. Let's move forward. Remember his amazing contributions and legacy in the ring that still resonate to this day. I'm really excited about it and very happy about it. I'm really happy the deal got done. We put a lot of time and work to make it happen, but it did, and now we can move forward and have great times with Owen involved, which I'm sure he will love as well. And of course, in May 2020, Martha said in an interview with Jericho that she was open to honoring Owen in some way, to even mentioning New Japan as a possibility. So, I mean, New Japan, I'm sure, will be getting involved. Instead, they'll probably bring in some guys from the tournament to AEW. I mean, why not? I mean, a lot of people were getting upset, especially a lot of WWE fans who remember Owen Hart. Well, you know, when you got this negativity online on social media coming in talking about, oh, why is AEW involved, whatever. Again, I just explained to you that WWE will never mention Owen Hart because Martha don't want no part of WWE involvement in anything that has to do with Owen Hart. She don't even want him in the Hall of Fame. So why, you know, now she figures, well, you know what? He wrestled elsewhere. AEW pretty much has like a little history of things that happen in wrestling, and you know, you got guys in there who know the history of wrestling. Owen Hart was, was a guy that, like I said, he was an incredible wrestler. And Jim Ross, let's not forget, Jim Ross is an AEW. Jim Ross was the one who had to make the announcement, I'm sure the hardest announcement he ever had to do at Judgment Day in 1999, to say that Owen Hart had died. One of the saddest day in professional wrestling and whatnot. That same night, I believe I was watching a pay-per-view, WCW or whatever. I think so, because the WWE and WCW will go head on as far as pay-per-view is concerned. But to know that WWE continued the pay-per-view, that's what really got me angry, because this was all over the post in New York City. How WWE continued their pay-per-view, okay? Because it was in McMahon's eye, it was about money, okay? And when the repercussions came for him to give an explanation why he continued the show, he really didn't have much to say. But this is a thing tarnished in his memory. How, Vince McMahon continued that pay-per-view in 1999 after Owen fell almost 60 to 80 feet above the ring and tragically to his death. And today, you know, AEW is ready to honor him, immortalize him, and here we have wrestling fans today talking negativity and stupidity. Like, okay, so AEW wants to immortalize him. What is the problem? I don't understand it, you know. But guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's the right thing AEW is doing by immortalizing Owen Hart and doing the Owen Hart Cup tournament? Is it good for professional wrestling? I mean, and they're gonna do this annually. Will this help AEW as far as, you know, making sure they know their history and following up this history? What is are we gonna hear anything from WWE about this? I mean, they haven't said anything. This happened last Monday, almost a week ago, and they haven't said anything. You know, they probably won't say anything. So let me know what you think about this video, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you think this is a good video. Leave me your comment and whatnot, and let me know in the comment section what you think about this. I think it's a good move. Owen Hart deserves more, and it's sad that he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame. But it's not because WWE doesn't want to do it. It's just the fact that they can't do it because Martha said no. And second of all, you know, the WWE Hall of Fame is a joke right now. So, I mean, they just destroyed that. We're putting the Bella Twins in there. That Hall of Fame is a joke to me. Pete Rose, freaking Donald Trump, and all these clowns that they have put in throughout the years. Mike Tyson in there, they got him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you know, they just make a mockery out of this. And guys like Bret Hart, Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, all those guys who were pioneers in the wrestling business are in this Hall of Fame, and it's just sad. And I'm glad that, in a way, I'm glad that Owen Hart is not in WWE's Hall of Fame after what they did 22 years ago. Okay, and just 22 years ago, of how he tragically died, falling 60 to 80 feet from the ring, from the arena into the ring, tragically killing himself. Well, actually not killing him, tragically dying because it wasn't his fault. The harness broke. But we'll see about that. We'll see what, you know, what's going to come out of this. I think it's a good move for AEW, and hopefully, you know, we'll have fun to see that. And you know, Owen Hart was one of my favorites back in the days. I always had that resentment as far as why WWE never stopped the pay-per-view. That always bothered me, and I'm sure that bothered a lot of wrestling fans. The WWE chose money over death. And this is nothing new to them. To this day, they're still getting blood money from Saudi Arabia and killing talent little by little. And if people don't believe me, just take a look at all the NXT talent that they had killed and what they did to NXT. That's all I have to say. So with that, guys, I thank you very much. If you guys want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also got an audio podcast called the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, available in Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and any audio podcast that you guys like to listen to your favorite show. Until then, guys, be safe and be blessed.